Welcome to Culture Wire. I'm your host, Meg Schiffler. On March 18th, the San Francisco Arts Commission hosted the 2010 Mayor's Art Award. The Mayor's Art Award was established to honor an individual artist with a lifetime of outstanding achievement in the arts and civic life. This year's awardee was none other than Carlos Santana. Before the awards ceremony, Director of Cultural Affairs, Luis Cancel, had a chance to sit down with Carlos and ask him a few questions.
Once a year, Mayor Gavin Newsom gets to select one distinguished individual to receive the Mayor's Art Award. In 2010, that distinguished individual was none other than the legendary musician, Carlos Santana.
Hi.
Carlos, it's really so great for the city to be able to recognize you, given all of your accomplishments already, and all the Grammy Awards and all of the other distinctions you've received. What does it mean for you to get the Mayor's Art Award?
I'm very grateful. I'm very touched. I'm very moved. And it means that I always wanted to be in the company of illuminaries like Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta, sisters and brothers who make truly a difference, not only with the arts, but with their consciousness and how they touch other people's hearts and are able to give people a sense of tangible hope. One thing is to be famous, another thing is for people to actually like you. And I'm very, very grateful for this award. It's another blessing. And I don't take it for granted. This is an incredible city. Everywhere I go, when I do interviews, I always tell people that this is the Atlantis of today. There's no other city in the world. I've been to every city from Rio de Janeiro to Hong Kong, everywhere, New York. There's nothing like San Francisco. In fact, to me, San Francisco is not even United States. You can tell by the ways Fox Network always attacking us, But it's because we have a different consciousness in here. We don't have a superiority or inferiority complex. We just don't follow blindly. We question authority if it's not enlightened by God. And to me, as I said before, person for person, there's more artists than con artists in the Bay Area.
And you're a person that really has been identified so strongly with San Francisco and the Bay Area, as you yourself just said, and a lot of it I think reflects the values that you also identify with. And I know that you have been promoting an idea for a work of public art that could be pretty transformative. Can you talk about that a little bit?
You mean the Peace Brother?
Yes, the Peace Brother.
Peace Brother is something that I saw, I think around the early 80s. There was a lady, I can't remember her name, and she started back there. She converted this, she went to the neighborhoods with the hoods, and she was collecting the guns from the gang fellows, and she had it melt and turn into angels. And so we want to do the same thing and take it to the next level. Also, we want to put a boom box at his feet. He's going to be 7 feet tall. So he actually going to be made out of guns, melted guns. But the boombox is going to be playing 7 or 12 songs. What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong, What's Going On, Marvin Gaye, Imagine, John Lennon, One Love, Bob Marley, and so on. A Change Is Going to Come, Sam Cooke.
So songs that really touch people deeply. And
well, I have come to a place where I call it the sound of eternity. Bob Dylan calls it Forever Young, and I call it eternally relevant. There's certain music that are assigned and designed to help you not be with fear. Because when you are with fear, then you invest on violence. You invest on, fear is really expensive. Ask Barack Obama and George Bush how much it costs a year to invest in fear instead of love. So these songs, all of these songs are invested in love. And we believe that what Marvin Gaye says is true. War is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. you know, and those things are not cliches, they're actually truisms, that if we implement them, you will see a different transformation in the Bay Area, in Richmond, in Oakland, in the Bellevue, you know, Richmond, Hunters Point, Mission, you know, all places we need to dismantle the violence, the fear, and the unnecessary pain that goes on in the Bay Area.
Now, you're a person that has lived a pretty miraculous life. It's really pretty extraordinary what you've accomplished and the extent and the range of people that you've been able to touch with your music. And you chose a beautiful word in Spanish, milagro, for your foundation, miracle, milagro. Could you talk about what that foundation has been able to do?
We are able to empower and give people, young people, a way for them to develop their own vision. I started with my vision, and there's people like Andre Agassi who we help finance. Three Squares, we help Mr. Desmond Tutu. And in essence, here in the Bay Area, like Larkin Street, there's places where people invest in people. You know, I love the giant stadium that we have in here. It's really beautiful. But I like to see humans invest in humans instead of expensive dirt and expensive buildings. You know, I like to see the mayor and the governor invest more in education than incarceration, you know. So I'm committed, you know, with the music and the platform that I have to, if I have to, give a little spanking, you know, to those who need to be spanked and wake up. Because we do spend way too much on weapons, you know. All the money that we spend on TV, advertising, games of war, that's sheer stupidity, you know. And in New Zealand, they passed a law that you cannot show or sell these things in New Zealand. Game war, whatever they call it, auto theft, you know, all that kind of stuff about killing people. Right. You know, they say, we don't want it, we don't care, we don't want it, get them out of here. And so to me, I equate that with Columbine. I equate that with war, you know, because once you desynthesize a human being, then you can't tell when you're shooting a figure on TV and when you're shooting a real person, you know. So there's a lot of things that I invite people to take responsibility for. You know, some people can be very gentle and very kind. I can be ghetto when I need to be, because I grew up with the Black Panthers doing benefits for them. So I grew up doing peace and freedom against Vietnam and doing benefits for the Black Panthers and the Lotus Huerta and Cesar Chavez. So on one hand, I like the softness of spirituality, but on the other hand, I like that energy that you have to be a warrior when you need to be, like Malcolm X. You know, I love Martin Luther King, but I also love that Malcolm X, sometimes you have to just like really, really, like Zapata or Pancho Villa, you know, you have to like really, really hold your ground and say, basta. You know, let's invest in compassion and kindness and education rather than more killing.
Now, when you graduated from Mission High School in 1965, I mean, it really was kind of the height of the civil rights movement. So you've just alluded to kind of the milieu in which you were growing up. Now, as a young musician, you know, what was it like for you as a young musician in San Francisco at that time?
It was heaven on earth. To go to El Matador on Broadway and see Bola Sete, Kenny Burrell, Wes Montgomery, Mongo Santa Maria, Cal Jader, Armando Peraza. Go to the Fillmore and see The Doors, Jimi Hendrix, Ravi Shankar, Cream. And go to Stern Groves and see John Handy or Charles Lloyd. So everywhere I went, go to the Mission District and you hear Mexican music, you know? So everywhere I went was like this multi-dimensional colors, and I felt that it was unnecessary for me to just do one, you know? I'm like Baskin Robbins, I want all the flavors, you know? And you can't hold me to just being a nice little Mexican that only plays mariachi music. I mean, there's a lot of beauty in that, but it's not for me. You know, I was born with arms around my heart that wants to embrace everything, Palestine and Hebrew, Israeli, Japanese, Apaches, everyone, you know. To me, I'm more concentrated with light and love than flags or nationality or religion. That stuff gets in the way. You know, the heart never gets in the way. What gets in the way is me, myself, and my story about, you know, I'm this or I become that. And so for me, that's when music is very liberating. This is why Imagine it is what it is. When you hear Imagine, and anywhere in the world, people sing the lyrics, anywhere in the world, you know. As soon as you hear the melody, people are like, and the world will be as one. I mean, people are like, bam, you know. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Bob Marley, one love. So I grew up taking everything from Bob Dylan to Curtis Mayfield and the Beatles and Smokey Robinson. My alma mater was the streets of San Francisco. I barely went to Mission High School. I mean, I was there on homeroom, and then I would leave. You know, and it's okay, because where I really hung out was at the Fillmore. That was my university. Checking out B.B. King, and James Brown, and Cream, and finding out how they were able to penetrate people's hearts.
With their music.
With the music. Because once you penetrate someone's heart, something happens to their eyes. They become brighter. They get chills. They start crying. They don't know why. They start dancing. It's like a woman when a woman gives birth. First she cries because it's painful, and then she laughs. And then later on she dances, you know? And that to me is what really, really is the beauty of with San Francisco. That's been my education here in San Francisco.
One final question, and we're gonna link it to your music today, because you know it's such a rich legacy that you're giving us. And you mentioned to me that you're working on a new album. Do you want to share a little something about what's coming?
No problem. I love to dream while I'm awake. And so I have this dream of working with India Arie and Yo-Yo Ma doing this song, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, the George Harrison song. When you hear this song, you have heard it from, you know, the Beatles themselves and other people, but you have never heard it like this. You know, when you hear this, it's almost like saying, this is the definitive way to do this. Because you bring in that we're all in it together, we don't leave anybody out. Tone. I'm one of the few persons who can say that with humility, grace, and honor, and conviction. I'm one of the few people who you can recognize by one note. So God gave me the universal tone. And that's what we like to implement in all the songs. Thank you so much.
Carlos Santana, thank you for accepting the 2010 Mayor's Arts Award.
Thank you for giving it to me. Appreciate it.
To watch the Mayor's Art Award ceremony, visit the homepage of the Arts Commission's website, sfartscommission.org, or search 2010 Mayor's Art Award on youtube.com.